from the last class discussion on projectile motion. First, we'll derive all the formula related with the projectile motion, which is starting from some height to the ground. Okay. So the first case which we were doing last class was that object is on the some height and object is thrown with a horizontal velocity, and the horizontal velocity is suppose u, and there is the initial horizontal velocity is u. Initial horizontal velocity is u. Initial vertical velocity is 0. And when you throw an object in such a manner, the object will traverse a projectile trajectory. It will traverse this kind of path, what I have shown with the blue color now, and it will reach the ground after certain time. So while motion, the only force which is acting on the object is the gravity force, which is in downward direction. Due to this force, there is an increase in vertical velocity. Due to this force, there is increase in vertical velocity. And because of which the downward velocity increases, downward vertical velocity, downward vertical velocity will increase from 0 to some value. Okay. And the horizontal velocity will remain same. If you assume that there is no air resistance, the horizontal velocity will remain same because there is no force acting on that object. Once it has been thrown, if there is no force acting on the object after being thrown in the horizontal direction, there is no air resistance suppose. So horizontal velocity will remain constant during the entire journey of the particle, and it will remain as u. And vertical velocity will be initially 0, and finally it will have certain value. Always remember that the direction of velocity is always tangent to the trajectory of the motion of the particle. So the direction of velocity is always tangent along the tangent direction to the path at that point. So if you want to find the velocity direction at this point during the motion of the particle along this path, the direction of velocity will be along the tangent drawn at that point to this curve. So this velocity at any moment, suppose it is v dash, it has two components. Since it is coming in fourth quadrant, as I told you earlier, if it is coming in fourth quadrant, it will have two components, one component horizontal and one component vertical. Suppose this angle is certain angle, some theta dash angle. So the v dash will have a horizontal component, which is nothing but v dash cos theta, and it will have a certain vertical component, which is v dash sin theta. So this v dash will have two components. One is v dash cos theta, another will be v dash sin theta in the negative direction, and v dash cos theta in positive direction. This v dash cos theta is same as u. As I told you, the horizontal velocity remain same. V dash sin theta is a vertical velocity component, is a vertical velocity, and this keep on increasing. As you can see, if you draw various tangent at different points on the curve, you will observe that the value of theta dash keeps on increasing. The value of theta keeps on increasing because the curve is moving slightly in a vertical direction. It's becoming quite vertical. So the tangent will also, the angle keep on increasing. Okay. So theta double dash will be more than theta dash. Therefore, v dash, whatever, the vertical velocity will increase. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is, this was just general description of what is happening. Now, after this, we are going to derive the formula for the vertical component of velocity. Okay. Using the equations of motion, v equals to u plus at, as I told you in last class, and s equal to ut plus half at square. And the last one is v square equal to u square plus 2as. Final velocity square is initial velocity plus 2 acceleration into displacement. Okay. So note down all these things, and after that we'll start our derivation part. Okay. Note it and raise your hand. Completed everyone? Harini, Shruti. Okay. Now we will start our derivation. As I told you in the last class, that we are going to divide the entire motion in two parts. One is the vertical part and other is the horizontal path. So if you see only the vertical portion of this motion, you can apply the equations of motion easily. If you see the vertical part or vertical aspect of the motion, if you apply v equals to u plus at, in that case, the velocity which we are referring is only the vertical component of the final velocity. This is the this is also vertical component of the initial velocity. This is also the vertical component of the acceleration or vertical acceleration. And time is time only. There's nothing like horizontal or vertical time. Okay, so time whatever taken is the time taken. So final vertical component will be equal to initial vertical component, as I told you, 0. Initial component vertical is 0. And acceleration is in downward direction. Either you can put plus or you can also put minus depending on what direction you are taking what. Okay, so you are putting minus because it's in downward direction. You can put minus sign also. It's up to you. So we are getting a formula like v equals to minus gt. Even you can get a formula like v equal to plus gt, depending on if you are taking downward direction as positive, answer will be v equal to plus gt. If you take downward direction as negative direction, it's the minus gt. Okay. So this is the formula for the final vertical velocity. Okay. Now coming to the horizontal analysis. Horizontal analysis, if you apply the same formula, so I will tell you one thing. This is just like that I am doing the thing, telling you. This will remain same. Horizontal component, initial horizontal component was u. Remember, u will remain as u only, because if you don't want to do it, then you just write v equal to u plus 0t, because there is no acceleration in horizontal direction, because there is no force in horizontal direction. So that will remain same. Now we will do some more things in vertical analysis. We will apply this formula. Now we are talking about this distance. Again, it is a horizontal distance. distance traveled. This is again the horizontal initial velocity, or oh, I am written vertical, so I am sorry. So this will be vertical distance, and this will be vertical initial velocity, and this will be the vertical acceleration. Now, if you see that vertical distance, this is the distance, vertical distance, which is traveled during this time. It was here and then it was here. So how much vertically it has traveled? Minus h. If you're taking downward direction negative, you have to put minus h. Initial vertical velocity is 0. And if you're taking downward direction as negative, then minus half gt square. So you'll get h equals to half gt square. This is one of the formula. You can remember it. I never remember it. I just always derive it. Okay. And then similar formula, if you apply for horizontal, now I'm not going to write everything again. I'll directly write the values. But remember that these values will be very different than vertical. Now the horizontal displacement, horizontal initial component, horizontal acceleration. Horizontal acceleration will be 0, right? And horizontal distance we traveled is, suppose we call it as r, that is the range. We call it as range. So that will be r is equal to initial horizontal velocity is u and time taken is t. So it becomes a very simple formula, r equals to ut. U is the initial velocity with which it is thrown, and it remains same. So distance equal to speed into time, simple formula. Okay. So this is another formula for you, right? And then you can also use this one. I don't know whether it will use for vertical, you can use for vertical analysis. Vertical analysis, you can use this formula also. I don't know whether it will be useful or not. V square equal to U square, it is not useful, leave it. Okay. So that's all. That's all derivation for this thing. And please note it down. And if you have any doubt, ask me, note it down and raise your hand. Okay. Okay. I have put a V sign here to explain you, tell you that it's a vertical component of the velocity. It's not the final velocity. It's a vertical component of final velocity. Okay. Okay, right? Now we are going to do the derivations for ground to ground projectile. Ground to ground projectile motion. This is our ground. Suppose you are shooting one bullet in a particular vertical direction like this at an angle of theta. Bullet will undergo a projectile motion in this fashion, and it will hit the ground, and this will be a symmetrical path. It won't be that the first part is bigger and the second part is smaller. It will be a symmetrical part. It is not a semicircle. It's actually, you'll find it out that it is a parabola kind of thing. And you are projecting some object from here at a certain velocity, that is, call it as u, that it is making certain angle with the horizontal, and that is called as angle of projection. This is called as horizontal velocity. Horizontal velocity. Okay. And it has also got two components again, as I told you in last class also. It's having horizontal component, that is u cos theta. This is the horizontal component of initial velocity. And then you have a vertical component, because it is in second quadrant, as you can see, it is in second quadrant. So the vertical component is u sine theta. This is the vertical component of initial velocity. One thing you have to understand that during the entire motion, once the object has been projected, like a bullet or something, you have thrown it at a certain angle, then after that you have lost control on it. You don't have any control on it. Only one thing is controlling it, and that is called as gravity. Only one thing can apply the force on that object. Once the object has left your hand, you are not touching the object. If you are not touching the object, you don't have a magic also. So you cannot apply the force on that object by any means. You are not touching the object at all. So only thing which is the force which is acting on that object is gravity, and that gravity is in downward direction. And original direction of the velocity, original direction of the body is in this direction. Now, if you're throwing something like this, that means it will go somewhat horizontal and it will go somewhat vertical. Okay. But somebody is pulling it down. Okay. So what will happen? It will go straight, and somebody is pulling it down. So what will happen? Its vertical velocity will decrease first, because somebody is pulling it down. And finally, at this point, at the topmost point, this point, the vertical velocity will become zero almost. It will become totally zero, vertical velocity. But horizontal velocity will remain same, because there is no one to affect the horizontal velocity. And after that, what will happen? Once the vertical velocity has become zero, because it is vertically upward, since somebody is pulling it down, the vertical velocity will start increasing again in the downward direction, and it will become maximum. So in the first half, the direction of the vertical velocity is in upward direction, and horizontal component, we can say, is this direction. So basically, the net velocity is in this direction, okay, and it is in second quadrant. But if in the second half, you can see that, because here the vertical velocity will become zero. First, vertical velocity will decrease actually. In the first half, it will decrease from max to zero. It will become exactly zero. Vertical component will become zero in the topmost point. And then during the second half, the vertical velocity will be in downward direction, and horizontal velocity will still be in this direction. So basically, it is in fourth quadrant. Net velocity is in fourth quadrant. That is obvious also. If you draw, you can clearly understand, yes, net velocity is in this fourth quadrant. And in this case, the vertical velocity will again increase. Basically, it will increase from zero to maximum, but this time in the downward direction, not in the upward direction. Okay. And horizontal velocity will remain constant. It will never change from the start to the last. Okay. If for u cos theta here, so last also it will be u cos theta. Okay. Are you getting the point? So this much explicitly I explained you what is happening in the entire motion. And after you write down this slide, we will derive the formulas for the range as well as this is called the range actually. This is called the range. And this is called as maximum height. These two formulas we are going to derive. Range is also a function of, as I told you in last class, u and theta. And maximum height is also a function of u and theta. U and theta means what? U is the velocity with which you are throwing the projectile, and theta is the angle of projection. Both these things are very critical in deciding how much height the object will go and how much horizontal distance the object will travel. Okay, please note it down and raise your hand after completing it. Completed? Okay, shall we proceed? Now, shall we derive the formula for the range and maximum height? And also one more thing, we are going to find out the equation also. Equation of this path. Equation of the trajectory of the projectile. That also we are going to derive. While deriving the equation, I will explain you. That is another topic. So I'll explain you one by one. Let us do the same kind of analysis for this ground to ground projectile motion. That is the horizontal and vertical analysis. Both the horizontal and vertical components of the motion will be discussed separately. And based on that, based on the vertical component, we will derive the formula for the maximum height. And based on the horizontal component, we are going to derive the formula for the range. In fact, we are also going to find out the formula for time of the flight. That is the total time it takes from the projection until it hits the target. Okay. And you can see clearly here that there are two components. One is the vertical component. One is the horizontal component. And this is the velocity u. Horizontal component will be u cos theta, which will remain same throughout, and vertical component will be u sin theta, which will decrease from u sin theta to 0, and again it will increase to u sin theta basically, but in downward direction. Okay, that is a fact. And then when you derive the horizontal, you do the horizontal part. So range, that is the distance. Here its acceleration is 0, right? So either you can, if you use this formula also, no problem. But acceleration, horizontal acceleration will be 0. Horizontal range r, horizontal velocity u cos theta, initial velocity, into time. Now, I wanted a formula only in terms of u and theta. I don't want this time. So I have to calculate the value of the time using this formula V equals to U plus AT. And you know very well that in this case, final velocity, initial velocity, both are same, right? So I think this formula will not help us. What formula we can use is this one. Which one? So we can use time formula, right? Okay. So time formula we will derive from the vertical motion because time is same only now. So we'll derive it from vertical part, the time thing. V equals to U plus AT. Final vertical component of the final velocity, vertical component of the initial velocity. Okay, vertical component of fine, and one more formula is there now. That is okay. So, what we will do is we will take only half motion. Okay, half motion. That means from here till here only. Okay, only this much motion. Half motion. So half vertical motion. Or V equals to U plus AT we can use. V is 0 because this is the final vertical component of final velocity. You know that horizontal, this place it's horizontal only. So this will be 0. And vertical component of initial velocity is U sine theta. Okay. Then minus, because G is downward direction, GT. Okay. Okay. This will give us that formula for time. So GT will be what? This is half the time, right? So time will be what? U sine theta by G, right? So this is the half the time. So total time will be 2 times U sine theta by G. Okay. Total time is what? 2U sine theta by G. Okay. Is it clear to you? So here you can put the formula for the time. That is 2U sine theta by G. And there are many ways of deriving. I am doing it naturally. So that's why it is somewhat cluttered. Otherwise, so 2 times sine theta cos theta is sine 2 theta. You know, you are 12th student or 11th student. But we already did this. Okay. That is 2 times sine theta cos theta is sine of 2 theta. In maths class, we have done this, right? In maths class, trigonometry chapter, we have done this. So U square sine 2 theta by G. This is the formula for range. Okay. This is the formula for range. Very, very important formula. Extremely important formula. Okay. And I am doing in very cluttered manner in everything in one page. Okay, let it be. But you can one by one, you can understand and note it down. And one more thing I want to do is that I want to do a maximum height formula. For half motion, I will do it again. Again, I will do it for half motion. If you have any doubt, ask me, okay? Half motion, vertical one. Okay, so in that I am going to use this formula. So I have to take vertical displacement, initial vertical velocity I should take. Time already we have the formula. Half time we have the formula. And minus because it is downward direction, acceleration is in downward direction. Again time. Okay, if you solve it, okay. Now you can clearly see that second term is half of the first term. Second term, half of the first term. So answer will be half of the first term. This is the formula for the maximum height. U square sine square theta by 2g. Okay. U square sine square theta by 2g. Everything we have covered in this single page. Okay. So if you have any doubt, ask, or else please note it down clearly. And we got three fundamental formulas. First is the formula for total time. Second formula is for maximum height. And third formula is for the range. All three are very, very important formula, extremely important formulas. Okay. Theta is the angle of projection. U is the initial velocity. Clear to you all? So note it down, please. Clear to all? Note it down and raise your hand after that. Done, everyone. Are you happy with the derivation? Are you able to follow derivation? These formulas are so important, you know. Even till today, after so many years, after 10 years, I am remembering all the formula. Okay, because I learned it so nicely, this formula, because it was so important, it is so useful. Never ever forget this formula, okay? You'll get lot of questions in exam from this. These are three fundamental, very, very important formulas. You know, and you see this. So these are the terms which are used in this formula. These formulas are applicable only for ground to ground projectile. Okay. Okay, now already written this formula. I just written it again. If you want, you can also write it. Highlight this three formula in your copy and remember it. Okay, very important. Never forget it. There is a slight difference in each formula. You can notice it. Here there is a 2, but here that is not there. Okay. Here it's sine square theta, but here it is sine 2 theta. Both are different things. And here it's only sine theta. Here there is a 2 in the numerator, but what is common in all the three is g is there in the all the three. That is common in all the three. So all the formulas are different, but still you have to remember them. Okay. How you can remember is by saying it again and again, you can remember it. How? Like h equal to u square sine square theta by 2g, r equal to u square sine 2 theta by g, t equals to 2u sine theta by g. Like that, you have to remember it again and again, saying it, you will remember it. Okay. Or remember the difference between the three, then you will also can remember it easily. Here there is a u square. Here it's a u square. Here it's a u square, but here it's only u. Okay. Here it's sine square. Here it is sine 2 theta. Here it's sine theta only. Here it is g. Here also g. Here also g. Here it is divided by 2. There is no divide by 2 in this there in the numerator too. Okay. Like that to remember it. Okay. Now I am going to do very important part of the derivation, that we are going to do the trajectory. So raise your hand if you have completed it. Then we will derive the equation of the trajectory. Equation of the trajectory. Equation of trajectory we are going to derive. Written. So now let us derive the equation for trajectory. Now whenever we derive an equation, we need a coordinate axis, and we need a coordinates, and we need a origin also. So that deciding where should be our origin is in our, that's our part. We can decide where should be our origin, where should be our starting point. So we can make this as x axis, this as y axis. We can make this as x axis, and we can make the start point as the origin. So our equation will be in terms of x and y. Okay. Equation of the trajectory. Equation means it's such an equation, means something equal to something, where any point, if you put x and y, that will satisfy the, that any point on this curve should satisfy the equation. Okay. Now how to derive that equation? Suppose you are at a particular point x comma y. Okay. So this is the horizontal distance you have traveled, and this is the vertical distance you have traveled. So if you see this one, this is your velocity, and this is the horizontal component of the velocity, and this is the vertical component of the velocity, initial component. If you talk about horizontal distance, there is no acceleration. So distance equal to speed into time. So u cos theta speed, horizontal speed into time. Time is not horizontal or vertical, it's just normal. This is one of the equation. Horizontal distance equal to horizontal velocity into time. Okay. And now we talk about the vertical component of the this thing. Now we'll talk about the vertical component of the motion. Okay. So what we can do? Can we use this formula in the vertical component? Shall we try this one? Vertical motion. Here we'll see this vertical distance traveled is y. Initial vertical velocity is u sine theta into t minus, because acceleration is in downward direction, so minus half into t square, right? And t is something which we want to eliminate. Suppose, how we can eliminate t? Because you want a x and y equation, so you want to eliminate the t. So t you can take from the this one, from here. T is equal to what? X upon u cos theta. You can substitute that t value here and here, and then you will get the final equation. So what is the final equation? Y equals to u sine theta, t is equal to x upon u cos theta, agreed? And minus half g t square, x square upon u square cos square theta, right? And you will get cancelled. So it will become y is equal to x tan theta minus half g x square. Okay, that's all. So we can just half g x square u square cos square theta. This is the formula. This is the final equation of the trajectory of the projectile. Okay. Trajectory equation we have derived now. So note it down, please.